Hello everybody. Today I'm going to speak about a new company, Smith Micro Software. The symbol is SMSI, and you can look at the website if you are interested, smithmicro.com. Today I'm going to do a Q4 2019 update. So we're in March 2020, and the current share price is $4.1. Okay, so Smith Micro, as like most of the company I'm trying to look at, are software companies. And this one is providing, let's say, software to enhance, let's say, the mobile experience. They have basically three subdivisions in terms of revenue income, which is SafePass, the first one, which is the most important, Compute, and also ViewSpot, which is a new acquisition from 2019. For the description, it's better if you want to have a look into the website itself, which will give more information than I will do. I will prefer to focus on the figures. I just took an extract from the 10K, so for 2019, just to show basically how the revenues are, let's say, evolving for the three of the subdivisions. And basically, the most important for, let's say, Smith Micro will be, for the future, will be SafePath. As you can see, in 2019, it went from 3 million to 17 million in 2019. So it's multiplied by 5. Compsuite at the moment is quite, let's say stagnant at 18 million and represent also almost 50% of the revenues. So one of the three basically is like the main, let's say, a driver for the revenue increase over the next quarters. When I look into the revenue, so here you can see the last 4 quarters, and then let's say the evolution on the margin, the values, and the OpEx split. What is interesting to look at here is, for example, the margin, the gross margin has increased from 89 to 92, which is very is huge, and the net margin also is around 30%. If you look at Q1, also just for information, all these data are taken from the last 10 Qs, so I didn't invent anything. It's just taken from the income statement directly. As you can see on the first quarter, you didn't have the net margin and operating margin as expected because they invested a lot of this revenue income into SG&A for presentation, meetings, and yes, overall meetings. Now let's switch to the values. So the revenue increase, as you can see, it increased sequentially from 8.4 to 12.3 million, which is really significant. It has been driven by the revenue increase from SafePass application. And it is expected that basically on SafePass to have a sequential revenue increase from 10 to 20% as per the last conference call. On the OpEx split, as you can see, there's a massive, what is super important is to look at the research and development ratio on the OpEx. And basically 26% of the total revenue is reinvested into research and development. So it's quite almost equivalent as what they declare as a net income. So this is on this side, this is a very important point that we will look into onto the next slides. But this is a big plus for this company, I believe. Now let's look at the balance sheet. So if you haven't looked already at previous videos, the way I present the balance sheet is I split every item of the balance sheet. And on this graph, I incorporate the last 4 quarters values. So basically the Q1 is the gray one. Then after you have the Q2 values, the Q3, and the last one in color. And with the value is the last quarter, which is Q4 2019 for us. The idea of making this type of graph is to identify if there's any change into long-term debt, equipment, or liquidity. So for Smith Micro, as you can see, I look first into the long-term debt, total long-term liabilities, and so far they don't have much liability and it hasn't increased over the last year. Related to the plant, property, equipment, goodwill, and intangible, no increase neither. But what is interesting here on Smith Micro is to look at the cash equivalent. cash and equivalents that has increased from, let's say, a few million up to $28 million. No increase in receivables, so it's all good. Just to precise on the cash equivalent increase, it's mostly due to a warrant conversion that brought money to the company, and also a little bit of operating cash flow directly from the positive profitability of the company. But 28 million basically is the best, let's say, situation for Smith Micro over the last year. So they are a very good position and have a lot of cash potentially that they can use for further acquisition or maybe research and development. I don't know. Let's see. Looking at the next slide on the cash flow. So I split this into two graphs. The one which shows the last 4 quarters. As you can see here, it's on cumulative values over the last from the beginning to the last 12 months. And here are the last 4 years. So I will look basically at the last values which are equivalent to the 2019 values here. You have 3 components into the cash flow: the operating cash flow, investing cash flow, and financing cash flow. Operating cash flow comes directly from the net income that you accumulate, also non-cash item. Investment, basically this is when you perform, for example, an acquisition or you sell a company, a subdivision. So as you can see in 2019, they lost 5 million into this investing part, which is the acquisition of ViewSpot. As you can see also over the last, okay, let's look at the operating cash flow first. So over the last years, they were not profitable. The company lost money on the operating side, and 2019 has been a big change. They went from -3 to +10 million dollars. So it's a change. It's an inflection point for the company. But what you can see in red, it's all the financing activities. And basically they still, let's say, get some money from the warrant conversion, so share dilution. And you can see it from the next slide, where I put the share count, the number of shares outstanding over the last quarter, last 4 quarters. So the share count increased by 20%, and over the last 4 years, increased by 200%. So hopefully, with such liquidity as a cash equivalence, you don't expect the company to dilute the number of shares more, so it will protect the shareholders. So the company is in good situation, and the shareholder also. Now let's look at the identity card of the company. So this is basically here summarizing most of the values, the metrics that I'm looking when I want to probably invest, which I am invested into Smith Micro. And basically, so let's start with first the market cap. At the moment is 174 million. If you add the if you remove the working capital, add the long-term debt, you end up with an enterprise value of 146 million. And with the last earnings for the last quarters, if you remove the depreciation, you get another return of the company, yield return of 6.4%, which is quite good, considering that it's a growth company. If I base all these same analysis just on the last quarter and multiply by 4 to get the yearly earning, the return would be over 9%. So it's quite significant also. And also a very important, let's say, metric that I like to add into my analysis is if I remove all the research and development from the operating income, how much the company will yield. And in this case of SMSI, the research and development budget is quite significant, almost as much as the net income. And this is why now you get an overall return if you remove the R&D, the total R&D of 17%, which is very, very significant. So let's not just look at just the PE ratio, but also look at the free cash flow divided by enterprise value, not capital market cap, but also look if you remove the R&D, research and development, how much the company will yield, and gives you a very good idea of how much they invest for the future. So I really like this metric. Just on the valuation side, you can see like the different valuations. So the EV to sales is 3.4, which is quite good for such a high gross margin company. Usually, what I look at a SaaS company, sometimes the EV to sales can go up to 10. For example, on CrowdStrike, it was more than 10. But for SMSI, it's really still very, very low. As you can see, also the price to cash is quite good at 6.1, so they don't have any lack of cash. No dividend. So over the last year, yes, the share count increased by 20%. Their debt, so their long-term debt is quite minimal, and compared to the yearly earning, it's only 0.6. So it means that they don't have, if they want to reimburse their debt, they would spend 0.6 year of their overall earning, yearly earning, to reimburse the debt. So it's very good. Basically, it's very good metrics. The other point I'd like to look at is the operating revenue per employee, which is around $200,000 per employee, which is in the average. And also like to look at the cash per employee during the crisis. Let's say if they ever have to cut the revenues, if their revenue ever cuts and they don't make any money, how much cash they would have per employee if they have, let's say, to pay them for a year. But $143,000 is still reasonable. The last, but not the least, that I like to look at for a company is to evaluate the growth, but also the operating leverage side. So as you can see, I presented the last 3 years, the revenue growth and also the OPEX growth. And then when I accumulate the last 3 years, I get a revenue growth of 54% from 2017, but an operating expense growth of minus 90. So it means that the revenue grew even though the OPEX, for example, here decreased. So it's huge, it's significant. It means that for the next quarters, if the revenue increase, you will have a lot of, let's say, part of the revenue that will go directly at the bottom line. So it means that in the cash, in the pocket. And this is exactly what we want, free cash flow. So overall, this company is good, and I like to just summarize just the pros of Smith Micro, which operates as a SaaS model. So it benefits from a very high gross margin of 90+%, which is not always the case even for software companies. As I mentioned, there's a very high operating leverage, so any future growth will convert into a very higher free cash flow and yield return. Regarding the revenue growth, it's mostly a safe path that we will be looking at for the next quarters, which is from the last conference call expected to grow from 10 to 20% sequentially from on Q1 2020. This revenue growth will be also boosted by the acquisition that they made recently called Circle Media, that will probably improve the software itself, the application, the app, but also give access to new customers that Circle Media had in the before acquisition. Also, we can look into potentially getting additional contracts from Compute and ViewSpot, so that might be another, let's say, source of growth for the company. And another, let's say, driver for the next quarter, which is probably May or June, that they will announce the entry for the Russell 2000 index, is that the company will be eligible for entering this index, and in this case, it can give a big boost to the share price. So it can give a big boost to the value, because some funds are based on this index, and they might have to buy some shares of Smith Micro to reflect the overall index. The last point that is usually not much looked into is the net operating losses. So basically, for a company, when it's not profitable, they might benefit from a tax credit once they get profitable. And it's the case from Smith Macro, as you could see um, in the yes, in the cash flow statement over the last years. So I can go back. They didn't have a positive operating cash flow, so basically they accumulating operating losses, and this one can be used for tax benefits. So it means that any income, let's say for the amount of 158 plus 145, well, the next income will be tax. The tax might be removed, so it might be another plus to boost the bottom line. Okay, I think it's that's all. I hope you enjoy, and if you have any comments or any remarks, maybe that I've forgotten, or also if you have any company that you would like to get analyzed, just let me know in the comments, and then I try to answer. Thank you very much, and see you next time.